Look, quick question. When did we get so weak? I'm talking not physically. I'm not talking about you don't have enough testosterone. I'm not talking about you can't live 225 as a man. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm talking specifically relationship. Why does you get in a relationship, you get hurt, it doesn't work out, and then it's all these men are terrible, all these women are. Why does that the normal sort of play? Listen, we can play it out, we can understand it academically. Most people are not marrying their high school sweetheart if marriage is the goal of a healthy relationship. But most people are not with whom they were with in high school. We get that. We understand that it's probably not going to work out like that. We get that. You're going to have multiple relationships throughout your lifetime before you get it right, if you get it right at all. But, and this is the big but here, right? Why does that one thing ruin it all? Why does getting up with that one person, now the rest are spoiled? Why are you the bad apple in the bunch? Now everything else that anyone else is doing is toxic, is narcissistic. You key in the same sort of framework, the same sort of ideas that is said over and over and over again. It's like, where's the original thought? Where is the stick-to-itiveness? Where is the resilience? Something bad happens, yeah, right? When you learn how to ride a bike, you fell a lot. When you started roller skating, you fell a lot. Yeah, it hurts when your heart gets broken, but that doesn't mean that the next thing can't be the best thing. How many times, when you actually think about it, right? And we're doing a thought experiment. When you meet someone that is getting married or has been married, you know how that relationship started? Probably just like most of your relationships started. They just were able to navigate it and get to the end. You have to start asking yourself, and sometimes, be a little, narcissistic, be a little selfish and say, you think that person's better than you? You think somehow they're better than you, and they're smarter than you, they have the moral wherewithal, that they can navigate and get to this end point of relationship and you can't? No. They just know how to let go of their trauma. They know how to deal with previous heartbreak, because we all, right? Besides death, taxes, we all are going to experience heartbreak. In one form or another, there's going to be someone or someone that broke it off with us or broke our heart for whatever reason. And when we have a real inability to get over that, we spoil ourselves for what could come next. And so if you want to spoil yourself, you can do that, right? But spoil yourself in the brown bag somewhere in the corner by yourself. Do not take your spoiledness and ruin it for someone else before they really had an opportunity to decide, hey, I actually want better for my life. I actually want to be in a relationship. I actually want to be healthy. Because it's like we become this chain reaction, the center of this chain reaction. I spoiled it for you, you spoiled, then go forward and spoil it for someone else. We have to start taking accountability and say, well, one, shit happens. Okay, it happened. It's not the end of the world. That doesn't mean that I don't have a shot at happiness going forward. This bad thing happened. Cool. Yes, it did. I am better than just sitting in this. I can overcome this. I can be better than this. I want to be ready to receive whatever blessing that another person can be in my life. But I can't when I'm holding on to this. Again, when you're holding on to that, hold on to that by yourself until you can deal with that. When I say by yourself, I mean don't get in another relationship. Don't start dating, entertaining situationships. Whatever you start involving other people in that part of your life and you spoil them, they have to now either do the healthy amount of work that they should, or they're probably more like you, weak. So they go out and they look to unburden themselves onto someone else. But we all just keep spreading this further and further and further. So you can meet someone. This happens often. And especially when you mature, you realize, I may have met you, you're the right person at the wrong time. And I don't have the wherewithal, the ability, or the duty, right? I think that's the important part. I don't have the duty to be required to sit in your trauma with you. I can leave you right here. I can hope for the best. I can even point out resources and say, hey, I was like this for a while too. but these are the things I had to do to get over it. These are the things, it took me time to deal with these healthy in a proper way. And listen, sometimes it's not just relationships. Sometimes it's the facts of life. It's a death in the family. It's the troubles at work. There are all sorts of factors that take you out of what I always like to say, a season of dating, a season of being apt and able to be in relationships. You're not always available, even though you're single, even though you're lonely. You may want someone in your life, and you have to be man and woman enough to realize I'm not in the place to deal with that. I cannot do anything with that. I can only, sort of hurt more people around me. That's a good time to just look within and say, hey, listen, I gotta do what I have to do. Instead, what we do now, we have an ability to have our voices heard. We have an ability to go online and show the world our asses, the worst parts of ourselves, and tell the world, this person hurt me, therefore all men, right? And this is where we're gonna get specific. We're gonna say all men are like this because of the ones that I allowed in my life, even when I had great intentions, even when I wasn't looking to do harm, to do hurt, I was hurt, so therefore all these men are bad. What we're seeing the trend now going in the disturbing direction is saying, yeah, he's married, man. I'm happily married, but I would never do it again. I want a divorce, and this man is a good man. Just because, and I'm speculating here, right? To be fair, I'm speculating here. Just because you want to be part of the trend, part of the group, it seems like it's popular to be hurt right now. To be online and complaining about the ills of the world and the evils of the world is the popular thing, is the cool thing. And I want to be part of that clique, that crew. So I'm now going to take something that, yeah, had its problems, but probably was not the worst thing or the worst relationship I've ever been in my life. But I'm going to make it like it is. I'm going to get online and complain. And then you have women also saying, if you're complaining so much about him, why are you not leaving him? Why are you coming on here to tell us about him and you're not going to leave him? It's almost like there's a pressure from the sisterhood to join us in the misery, and we all can see that. We all can understand that saying that misery loves company. We get that. This is the weakness I'm talking about. When you are not mentally resilient enough to say, yeah, you know what, things may be rough, but we're going to get through this. I can survive a blow or two. I can survive this. This is what's required of me. If I'm going to be with someone else, if I'm going to be in charge of my own happiness and sort of that destiny pushing forward, I'm going to have to be able to fight for it, to weather the blows. You can't have this expectation that it's all going to be perfect. It's always going to be harmonious. You're never going to snap. You're never going to be annoyed. You're never going to say something or do something that maybe didn't have your partner's, the partner wasn't top of mind, but you did it anyway. You're going to have to be able to backtrack and say, you know what, I am sorry. I should not have done that. I was not thinking, and that may be indicative of larger issues, but I'm willing to be accountable. It's so much easier. It seems to be so much easier to take a look at what you did, not confront it, and run away. And just say, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. He was this narcissistic. He was this. He was abusive. All the things. We can say all those things rather than kind of facing the things ourselves and saying, yeah, I'm going to have to be strong and sit in what I did wrong. I'm going to have to be strong and sit in my conviction and say, this isn't good for me. This isn't right for me. Or I'm going to have to be strong and say, yeah, I have to sit in this loneliness for a little bit longer. Listen, as always, if you think I missed something, let me know down in the comments below. If you see videos on your screen right now, it means I'm doing my job. Shout out to me, shout out to you guys. And of course, if you made it this far, you have not subscribed, just join the train. We're just trying to pay the rent. I'll see you in the next one.